For our Boxing 101. Alright? Again, today is January 1st, Monday, 2024. Happy New Year to everyone. How are you? I hope everyone is doing fine and enjoying with your friends and families. Okay? So, relax and be safe, everyone. Okay? Now we'll go to our topic for tonight. And as the title says, the pound for pound best fighters from 1974 to date. Okay? Best fighters from 1974 to date. Okay. As you have known or observed, there are very few Asian boxers, okay, fighters that is listed or was listed on the pound for pound top 10. Alright, since the beginning. But for this video, we are going to start from 1974. Alright. Why I made this video? Because I would like to share, the records, the facts about the pound for pound best fighter in the world or best boxer in the world, if you would like to say like that. Because as you and I knows that combat sports, especially boxing and MMA, it is a tribal sport or a sport ethnicity versus ethnicity, like ethnic or tribal event or tribal sports. If we are going to analyze it, evaluate it very keenly, there are only one Filipino that is listed number one pound for pound. Okay, best fighter in the world. That was Manny Pacquiao. Okay. And then the second one almost become number one, but his highest was number 4. His name was Nonito Donaire Jr. Okay. Now, outside the Philippines, there are 2 Asian that become the number 1 pound for pound in boxing history. Right now, it's Naoya Inoue, though Terence Crawford is claiming to be number 1. And the previous years, that was Triple G, Gennady Golovkin from Kazakhstan. And Kazakhstan is Asia. Okay? So, why is that? How come only very few Asian included or listed in the pound for pound top 10 best fighters, best boxers in the world? Okay, we are going to dissect it, analyze it. Is boxing only for whites or blacks? Are only black people and white people better in boxing? Or greater in boxing? Is that really? So, we'll check it out, okay? So, with that being said, we will start the list in 1974. Okay? So in 1974, as recorded, okay, based on records, okay, based on facts. We are not making opinions here, okay? Especially pound for pound listing. Number 1. So the Ring Magazine made their records for those pound for pound best fighter. Okay, in 1974, one of the top 1 and 2 interchangeable is George Foreman and Roberto Duran. Okay, 1974. George Foreman and Roberto Duran. Okay, and Muhammad Ali is there, right there, top 3. Muhammad Ali. Okay, now let's move on to 1975. Okay, so the same. Roberto Duran, interchangeable. And now, instead of George Foreman, it's Muhammad Ali. Okay? So, from George Foreman, okay? By the way, earlier, 1973. Okay, though the title says 1974, but let's move on back to 1973. Okay? So 1973, George Foreman and Roberto Duran. They are fighting for the top 1. Okay, and Muhammad Ali is right there. And we can put his name on number 3. Then 1974, Muhammad Ali overtakes George Foreman. Okay? And then Roberto Duran still there. Roberto Duran still competing with the number 1 pound for pound. Okay? That's 1974. Now, 1975, the same. Muhammad Ali and Roberto Duran in the number 1 spot. Muhammad Ali and Roberto Duran. Okay, that's 1975. Same with 1974. But 1973 is George Foreman and Roberto Duran. Okay? Muhammad Ali is there. Maybe top 3. Okay? Now, let's move on to 1976. The same. Okay? Muhammad Ali and Roberto Duran. That's how great Duran is. Interchangeable, remember. Roberto Duran and Muhammad Ali. That's 1976. Okay, now, 1977. The same. Roberto Duran and Muhammad Ali. Interchangeable. Muhammad Ali and Roberto Duran, 1976. 1977, the same. Roberto Duran and Muhammad Ali, 77. Same goes with 1978. Okay? 1978. Muhammad Ali and Roberto Duran. Number 1, pound for pound, the best in the world. Okay? Number 1, pound for pound, the best in the world. Based on the records, data from the Ring Magazine, the Bible of Boxing. Okay, now, we'll move on to okay. For the 1980, where are we now? Is it 1980? Okay. So those years, especially on the 1989, okay, those are one of the most dramatic and historic fights happened. Okay, that is the emergence of Mike Tyson. okay? Mike Tyson was the named as the number one pound for pound best fighter in the world by the Ring magazine. Uh, then during those times, interchangeable with Julio Cesar Chavez. Okay, the senior, okay? Remember the senior. There. And number 3 is Pernell Whitaker. Alright? That's 1989. Okay. And now, uh, but before that, okay, before that, let's say 1981, 82, 83, those were the time, especially specific, let's say specific, 1980. Okay? Remember? Roberto Duran is always with Muhammad Ali. Okay, for straight 5 years or 6 years. In the 1980s, it's a solid Roberto Duran. Okay. Then 1981, here comes Thomas Hearns or Tommy Hearns, the Hitman Hearns. Okay, 1981. And then 1982, for obvious reason, Sugar Ray Leonard beat Tommy Hearns. Okay. So it was Sugar Ray Leonard. He beat the champion. Okay, they were fighting. Both of them were undefeated. Tommy Hearns way back then was 147 pounds. Ray Leonard was 147. They are fighting for the lineal and the undisputed WBA and WBC. Okay, WBA and WBC. Of course, for the Ring magazine as well. Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hearns. Okay, and then of course, Ray Leonard beat Tommy Hearns and he became the number one pound for pound best fighter in 1982. And then 1983 to 1987, there you go, marvelous Marvin Hagler. From 1983 to 1987, marvelous Marvin Hagler. And then from 1988 to 1990, that was Mike Tyson. 1988, 1989, okay, Mike Tyson. Alright? And then, because Julio Cesar Chavez is with that number 1, okay, like a competitor for that Mike Tyson spot. In the 1990, in the later of 1990, that year, later part, last quarter, Julio Cesar Chavez, okay, Julio Cesar Chavez already named as the number 1 pound for pound best fighter. Okay, that's 1990. 1991, the same, Julio Cesar Chavez. 1992, Julio Cesar Chavez. Again, the 1993, here's the Pernell Whitaker. Okay, so Pernell Whitaker already become the number 1 pound for pound. And then 1994, Pernell Whitaker. 1995, Pernell Whitaker again. And then 1996, here comes Roy Jones Jr. Okay, Roy Jones Jr. became the number 1 pound for pound. In the 1997, here comes Oscar De La Hoya, the Golden Boy. In 1998, Oscar De La Hoya again. In 1999, Roy Jones Jr. is back. 1999, Roy Jones Jr. is the number 1 pound for pound. And that during that time, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is already on the list of the top 10 best fighter, Mayweather, during the 1999 and the 1998. Okay. Now let's move on to year 2000. Okay, year 2000. Number 1 pound for pound, Shane Mosley. Okay, Shane Mosley. I have a very big question for that because 1 year before, when pound for pound number 1, Oscar De La Hoya fought Felix Trinidad, an undefeated IBF welterweight champion, and Oscar De La Hoya was the WBC welterweight champion. They fought for the lineal, okay, for the lineal, the very best of welterweight, 147 pounds. And Felix Trinidad beat De La Hoya controversial. And the following year, 2000, they gave that pound for pound number 1 to Shane Mosley, not Felix Trinidad, for whatever reason. And they did not give it to Trinidad, even 1 year or 2 years after that Trinidad destroyed all those opponents he had. That's a big question mark, right? So year 2000, Shane Mosley. Number 2 is Felix Trinidad. Okay, 2001, again Shane Mosley, number 1 pound for pound. Okay, 2002, Bernard Hopkins. Okay, that's why Shane Mosley was not already at pound for pound number 1, because he lost to Vernon Forrest. Okay, he lost to Vernon Forrest, so he was dislodged or overtaken by Bernard Hopkins by default. Okay, not because Hopkins beat Mosley. No. Now 2003, Roy Jones Jr. Okay, Roy Jones Jr. The reason not because Roy Jones Jr. beat Bernard Hopkins that year, 2002-2003. No, it's because Bernard Hopkins lost to Jermaine Taylor twice. Bernard Hopkins lost to Jermaine Taylor. Yes, he lost to Jermaine Taylor twice. That's why he lost that number 1 spot, pound for pound. Then 2003, Roy Jones Jr. And then 2004, here comes Bernard Hopkins again. Okay? Bernard Hopkins again. Because Roy Jones Jr. lost to Antonio Tarver. He got knocked out by Antonio Tarver. So, Roy Jones Jr. was overtaken again by Bernard Hopkins. Okay, now 2005. Now it's the time of Floyd Mayweather Jr. Okay? Not because Floyd beat Bernard Hopkins, no. Because Bernard Hopkins lost against Bernard Hopkins lost to Jermaine Taylor. I forgot already during those time, huh? So yeah, Bernard Hopkins lost from his latest fight. Then 2006, Floyd Mayweather again. And then 2007, Floyd. But remember this, since 2003, Manny Pacquiao is already on the pound for pound list. Okay, remember this. Manny Pacquiao is already listed in the top 10 pound for pound since 2003, when he beat then number 5 pound for pound Marco Antonio Barrera. Okay, the great, the legend from Mexico, the babyface assassin Marco Antonio Barrera. So from 2003, Manny Pacquiao is already belongs to the pound for pound listing. Then 2005, Mayweather number 1. 2006, Mayweather number 1. And in 2006, Manny Pacquiao is already ranked number 2. 2007, same, Mayweather number 1 and Manny Pacquiao is number 2. Okay, now 2008. Now it is Manny Pacquiao already time, because Floyd Mayweather announced his retirement. He announced retirement, Floyd Mayweather. So by default, Pacquiao become the number 1 pound for pound. Okay. Same result during 2005 when Bernard Hopkins lost to his last fight. By default, Floyd Mayweather from number 2, he moves up to number 1. Okay. So 2009, the same, Manny Pacquiao, number 1 pound for pound. And then in 2010, the same, Manny Pacquiao is number 1. And then Floyd Mayweather, went back from his retirement. Okay, so he's number 2. And then 2011, again, number 1, Manny Pacquiao, number 1, pound for pound. Okay, remember, Manny Pacquiao is Asian, right? Okay, Asian. Filipino. So if you heard what I'm saying, that's the first time that there is an Asian fighter on the number 1 pound per pound, best in the world. Okay, 2012, it's Mayweather's time. Okay, Floyd Mayweather, because when Timothy Bradley beat controversially June of 2012, so Floyd Mayweather moves up from number 2 to number 1. And of course, that year, December of 2012, Pacquiao got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez. So Mayweather again. So 2013, following year, Floyd Mayweather again. But Pacquiao still there, number 7, pound for pound. 2014, Pacquiao is number 1. No. I'm sorry. Mayweather, okay, so 2014, Floyd Mayweather number 1. Number 3, Manny Pacquiao. Then after that, 2015, okay, 2015, Floyd Mayweather, okay. But here's the thing, Mayweather, after his fight against Andre Berto, remember, September, because May of 2015, Pacquiao, Mayweather versus Pacquiao. September of 2015, Mayweather versus Andre Berto. After that, he announced his retirement. So there is, when he retires, the number 1 becomes vacant. So the number 2 moves up to number 1, which is Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Okay? Chocolatito Gonzalez. A Latino, a Hispanic, became a number 1 pound for pound from Roberto Duran in the 1970s. Remember Roberto Duran? Number 1, always number 1. And then the second Latino or Hispanic is Julio Cesar Chavez. Okay? Then now the third Hispanic or Latino, which is Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, only for 1 year, 2015. And then here comes 2016, not the entire 2016, okay? Still list on Roman Gonzalez. And then not 2017, Chocolatito Gonzalez, he got lost against the Thailand fighter Rong Visay. So he was downgraded, and the number 2, Gennady Golovkin, became number 1. So Golovkin by default become the number 1 pound for pound. Now that's the second Asian. Remember what I'm saying earlier? 25 minutes ago, that only 3 Asian that is listed on number 1 pound for pound, best in the world. Okay, based on facts, based on data as recorded on the Ring Magazine, the Bible of Boxing. So here we come. Gennady Golovkin, 2017, number 1 pound for pound. And then 2018, Vasily Lomachenko from Ukraine, right? So Ukraine is Europe. He moves up from number 2 to number 1 because Gennady Golovkin lost to Canelo Alvarez. Remember, their first fight is a draw. Second fight, Gennady Golovkin lost. So he downgraded, and then Vasily Lomachenko become number 1. Then 2019, Saul Canelo Alvarez becomes the number 1 pound for pound because Vasily Lomachenko lost. Okay, he lost. Who beat Lomachenko? Wow, I forgot right away. Who beat Lomachenko? Oh yeah, Teofimo Lopez. There you go. So Teofimo Lopez. That's why Canelo Alvarez moves up by default. Canelo become the number 1. Okay. Now, we'll go to, where are we going? Number 2000, where are we? 19. So, 20, of course, 2020, Canelo Alvarez again. Pound for pound number 1. And then 2021, Canelo Alvarez. And then 2022, okay, Terence Crawford. But, remember this. In 2022, Terence Crawford became the number 1 pound for pound. But, during the, in October of, what day is this? Hold on. Okay, give me. Naoya Inoue become the number 1 pound for pound. What is specific month? Okay, we'll see the specific month. When Naoya Inoue knocks out Donaire in their second fight. So June of 2022, Naoya Inoue become the number 1 pound for pound best fighter. Okay? June 2022, when he beat Nonito Donaire. And then after that, when 2022, Crawford goes back to number 1 pound for pound again in this July, last year, July of 2023. Crawford became the number 1 pound for pound best fighter. But if you have to remember, when Naoya Inoue beat Stephen Fulton Tuesday, the Ring Magazine awarded him as the number 1 pound for pound for 4 days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Because Saturday, when Terence Crawford knocks out Errol Spence Jr., the Ring Magazine awarded Terence Crawford as their number 1 pound for pound. So that's what happened, okay, in 2023 from 2022. And then now January 1, 2024, and then there's a lot of, as I mentioned on my previous live videos, that a lot of boxing websites and boxing magazines already officially declare and officially announce that Naoya Inoue is their number 1 best fighter in the world pound for pound. Okay, and fighter of the year as well, 2003, like the ESPN and many more. ESPN is one in my head that already officially announced, gave the award as the fighter of the year, Naoya Inoue, 2023 fighter of the year by ESPN. Hopefully this week, first week of January, or maybe next week, but I believe this week, the Ring Magazine will officially declare their fighter of the year. Alright? And I really believe that the Ring Magazine will award the fighter of the year in favor of Naoya Inoue, which he really deserves. 2 wins, 2 knockout wins against 2 unified champions. That's big compared to Terence Crawford, only 1 fight for that year, 2023. So the deserving one, it should be and it must be Naoya Inoue, the monster of Japan. Alright? Again, thank you for watching, and hope to see you again. Enjoy your New Year's Day, and be safe. As always, stay healthy. All right. Again, thank you so much and blessings to you all. Army strong.